It was a confluence of machinations that caused and ended the Blue Ladies' War. Welcome to another DragonLance Saga episode. My name is Adam, and today we're going to talk about the Blue Ladies' War. I'd like to take a moment and thank the DL Saga members and invite you to consider becoming a member by visiting the link in the description below. You can even pick up DragonLance gaming materials using my affiliate links. I'm referencing the annotated legends and the Legends of the Twins source book for this information. If I leave anything out or misspeak, please leave a comment below. Kitiara Uth Matar was the most powerful Dragon Highlord in her time. She commanded total devotion from her soldiers as she took care to treat them better and pay them on time, in contrast to her peers. Kitiara had total respect and cooperation from her dragon mount, Khellendros, known as Skie, and she alone captured the attention of the Death Knight Lord Soth, and for a time bent him to her will. With his aid, she claimed the crown of power, the Miceram, from Tanis Half-Elven at the end of the War of the Lance, and used it to unify the disparate and broken forces of the Dark Queen in 353 Alt Cataclius. At the end of the War of the Lance, she alone held the Dark Queen's favor, though it was from banishment in the Abyss, thanks to her half-brothers and the heroes of the Lance. With a flying Citadel, a reunited army, a Death Knight and his minions, and her blue dragon, nothing seemed to stand in her way from accomplishing what Erika's could not: domination of Anslon in this post-war era. It would only take her 5 years to mount an assault on Palanthas, one of the few locations in Anslon no one ever expected a successful attack to be made in, as it was protected by the Vingard Mountains and the High Clerist Tower. What Kitiara was unable to see was that she was merely a pawn in a number of schemes, whose ambitions were even greater and in direct contrast with her own. First, her half-brother Raistlin Magir, the most powerful magi on Krynn, was planning to confront and overthrow Takhisis herself. Second, Raistlin's hubris led him to inform Dalamar the Dark, his apprentice, who was spying on him for the Orders of High Sorcery. And third, and most devastatingly, Lord Soth wanted Kitiara for his own, and not alive. Kitiara's most trusted commander, Lord Soth, actively worked against her in his schemes, sealing her fate. When Raistlin told Kitiara about his plans, she couldn't believe it. She was sure he would fail, and she wanted to use his magic on her behalf. Lord Soth convinced Kitiara that she could stop him by destroying Lady Crysania, Raistlin's key to entering the Abyss. She sent Lord Soth to kill her, and if it weren't for the God Paladine's direct interference, he would have succeeded. Lady Crysania's corpse was delivered to the Tower of High Sorcery in Wayreth and sent back in time to be resurrected by the King Priest himself, but Lord Soth was not content in defeat. As Kitiara was forging an alliance with Dalamar to stop Raistlin and potentially use him in her coming conflict, Lord Soth was poisoning the connection by telling Dalamar that Kitiara planned to allow Raistlin to succeed by meeting him outside the portal to the Abyss in the Tower of High Sorcery in Palanthas. As Lord Soth pressed Kitiara to invade Palanthas in 356 Alt Cataclius in order to stop Raistlin herself, the pieces on the Casboard were in position. The Blue Lady was able to keep the Flying Citadel secret by eliminating Lord Gunther's spy network and sanction, dumping the bodies in the courtyard of the High Clerist's Tower, even with Tanis Half-Elven actively working against Kitiara, and with Gunthar Uthwistan, Kitiara outmaneuvered them both, a credit to her military skill as a leader, lest we think she was a mere pawn completely. As Lord Gunther summoned the Knights of Solamnia to the High Clerist Tower to face the might of the Blue Lady's army, none suspected what was actually coming. Dragon fear swept over the forces, and reality hit them like a ton of bricks. Kitiara wasn't looking to repeat the battle of the War of the Lance. She commanded a flying citadel and was headed directly for Palanthas, bypassing them completely. The flying citadel is slow, so Tanis rides Fireflash to Palanthas and informs Lord Amethys and Sir Markham of the coming assault. Days later, Lord Gunther arrives with bronze dragons from the tower and a few silver dragons from the area. They draw the citizens into the old city and man the gates. Lord Soth appears alone outside the gates, demanding surrender. If they refuse, they will all die. Lord Amethyst refuses, and Lord Soth's undead knights freeze the gates, and he destroys it with a single word. Then, Lord Soth rides with his undead knights through Palanthas, murdering everyone who dares stand in their way, while his banshee's wails drown out all screams from the fearful and dying. If that weren't bad enough, dragons drop from the skies, leaving scorched remnants in their wake as draconians drift from the Citadel and goblins and mercenaries are lowered, razing the city to the ground. Palanthas has never seen a moment like this. I dare say nowhere on Krynn has faced such a threat all at once. Kitiara is not interested in the defeat of Palanthas, as her true goal is to stop Raistlin. So she rides Skie to the Shoiken Grove, and once there, Skie returns to the battle. Tanis instructs Tasselhoff to return the protective bracelet Dalamar gifted him after seeing Kitiara fly off, and plans to stand his ground against Soth. But Soth has other plans. He wants to face Dalamar, Kitiara, and Raistlin in his moment of triumph and claim his prize. But without the army's commanders, the Palanthas militia and Knights of Solamnia turn the tide of the battle. After hours, the only buildings left unscathed are the Great Library and the Tower of High Sorcery. All but a few knights remain alive, and the city is razed to the ground. As Tasselhoff and the Gully Dwarf Rounce are controlling the flying citadel, Caraman and Tanis enter the Tower of High Sorcery. Kitiara, wounded and poisoned, refuses to give up on her mission, and wounds Dalamar, who seems to now be working against her. Dalamar and Kitiara fight, with Kitiara suffering a lightning bolt attack from Dalamar. As Kitiara lies dying, Tanis and Caraman enter the chamber. Dalamar reveals Lord Soth's betrayal, and Kitiara begs Tanis to save her from eternal damnation with Soth. In the most difficult decision of his life, Tanis finally accepts that Kitiara is not his true love, and he is not beholden to her. Dalamar convinces him to stand down as Lord Soth enters the chamber and demands her corpse. Lord Soth masterfully played all sides against each other to sow mistrust and ensure his prize. One might argue that Kitiara sealed her own fate by initially stepping into Daregard Keep and convincing Lord Soth to join her in the War of the Lance so many years before. She made a deal with the Death Knight without truly realizing the price to be paid, and now payment was due. We know all of the authors would keep Kitiara's soul from Lord Soth, as her pact with the Dark Queen kept her in her service in the Abyss after death. Palin Majir was attacked by Kitiara while rescuing Raistlin after he sacrificed himself by closing the Abyss from the inside, so the now blind Lady Chrysania and his twin brother Caraman could escape, preventing the Dark Queen from entering Krynn. With the flying citadel parked on some unsuspected lord's front lawn, the Blue Dragon army routed, and Lord Soth and his minions returning to Daregard Keep with their true prize, Kitiara's corpse, the Blue Lady's War had ended, putting the final nail in the coffin of Takhisis' attempt to re-enter and rule over Krynn once and for all. Well, for a while at least. The location of the Miceram is unknown, and Lord Soth would be pulled into the domains of dread for a time, never gaining control of Kitiara's soul. Kitiara's impact would be felt for decades, even into the Age of Mortals, as Khellendros, now a dragon overlord, would create dragon spawn to house Kitiara's soul, though like Soth, he would never claim command over it. It turns out that the Blue Lady would remain elusive, ever living as a specter in the minds of those whose lives she touched. Tanis, Lord Soth, Dalamar, and Khellendros would attest to her power and authority, and if it weren't for Lord Soth's betrayal, who knows if the Blue Lady would have become the Blue Empress. And that is all I have to say about the Blue Lady's War. What do you think of the conflict in Palanthas? Would Kitiara have control over Ansalon if she wasn't so wrapped up in her brothers and lovers? And finally, would Lord Soth have taken control of the Blue Dragon Army forces if he wasn't obsessed with Kitiara? Leave a comment below. I'd like to take a moment and remind you to subscribe to this YouTube channel, ring the bell to get notified about upcoming videos, and click the like button. This all goes to help other Dragonlance fans learn about this channel and its content. Thank you for watching. This has been Adam with Dragonlance Saga, and until next time, remember, any path is always the right path, unless it's the left fork.